far as that? You stand there. Knock it off about this.
Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024. A is for Aaron, the Hammer and Hank, the real home run king. Take that to the bank. B is for Bobby. Cox never cowered. He'd give Blue quite an earful on his way to the showers. C is for Chipper. Don't call him Larry. He would show up in Shea, the Mets he would bury. D is for David. Justice he'd bring. A Game 6 solo brought Atlanta their ring. E is for Eddie Matthews. 512 bombs away. Lit skies from Boston to Milwaukee to the A. F is for Fred. McGriff dog-biting crime. A fire was lit the day he arrived. G is for Glavine. Southpaw winds and kicks. Changing speeds east and west. A gem in Game 6. H is for Harry and his brother George Wright. The father of baseball, Boston pennants in flight. I is for inning, ending double play. Riley to Ozzie to Olsen all day. J is for Jones. Andrew let her fly, and his gloves in center is where singles would die. K is for strikeouts, a plenty from Strider. The quads in the stash, getting swings from that slider. L is for Lopez, Javi to B-Mac. Travis and Smurf, we've been lucky to see that. M is for Mad Dog. He won 355. Could swat flies with the changeup and still bust you inside. N is for Necro. He got to the hall by bending and knuckling and floating that ball. O is for Otis. Old Nixon could fly. The catch at the wall baffled our eyes. P's still for Peterson. We were all rockin' pearls. With Eddie and Jorge, we were out of this world. Q is a quandary for why Dale is not in. Murphy MVPs again and again. R is for ranking. The top pitchers lore. Remember Kid Nichols, 107 WAR. S is for Smoltzy. The big three in the hall. When the game's on the line, you give John the ball. T is for Tyler, Matzik, and the gift of 2021, the entire night shift. U is for Chavez, but we say Uncle Jesse. The frames, the release, kept the batters guessing. V is Van Weeren, Skip Carey 2, Don Ernie Joe, the tales from the booth. W is Warren, spawn Johnny Sane. They'd ride him in Boston and then pray for rain. X is Mazzoni. Yeah, X marked the spot. Leo rocked next to Bobby and his pitchers stayed hot. Why it makes us feel young, the game's main appeal. Chopping through the battery, there's no better feel. Z is for Zip Boom Bam, Rama-Lama Ding Dong. Throughout the summer, we sing that song. From AJ to eyeglasses and a hell of a pen. Mad Max, Uncle Charlie, win after win. A cannon from short, and RC you later. Acuna Matata, there is no one greater. Though you can't fit them all when you just A to Z. Think of your favorites in the rafters we see. I started with 3, then 10, 25, 47, 31, and of course 29. Let's not forget 21, 41, 35, the great 44, or 755, and old number 6, who led his great teams. The pennants were flying. It felt like a dream. From Boston to Milwaukee to Atlanta's TBS, a family, a tradition, Braves Country's the best. Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024.
Drink like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it. The fact that that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing, Darryl, Darryl. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win.
And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone.
Ground ball stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same three criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right, down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry,
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing-eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back, back, back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ramalama ding dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-run lead. She's gone, baby!
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark. And it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Swung line drive, let's see it. 1 run is in. Here comes Green. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe.
you're in Braves country.
If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to one strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first, and here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming,
7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is Petco Park, San Diego, California, where we're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves, it's Michael Harris II. 16 home runs, 48 RBI, 10 stolen bases, batting .264. Batting second, playing second, Ozzie Albies. 10 home runs, 53 RBI, 8 stolen bases, batting .251. Batting third, your designated hitter, Marcell Ozuna. 39 home runs, 104 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .302. Matt Olson is batting cleanup and playing first. 29 home runs, 98 RBI, a .247 average. Jorge Soler is batting fifth and in right field with 21 home runs, a .241 average, 1 stolen base, 64 RBI. Batting sixth and playing left, Ramon Laureano. .259 average with 33 RBI, 11 home runs, 8 stolen bases. Batting seventh and behind home plate, it's Travis d'Arnaud. .238 average, 48 RBI, 1 stolen base, and 15 home runs. Batting eighth, playing third, Gio Urshela. 9 home runs, 52 RBI, a .250 average. Batting ninth and playing short, it's Orlando Arcia. 17 home runs, 46 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .218. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves, ready to set sail here on Game 1 of the Major League Baseball postseason, it's A.J. Smith-Shawver. The SSAJ threw 4 1/3 innings this year in the major leagues with 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. He'll be going head-to-head with Michael King. 13-9 on the year, a .295 ERA, 201 strikeouts, a .119 whip. Backing up King in the bottom of the first inning, the designated hitter, Luis Arias. 4 home runs, 46 RBI, 9 stolen bases, batting .314. Fernando Tatis is in right field and batting second. 21 home runs, 49 RBI, 11 stolen bases, batting .276. Jurickson Profar is batting third and playing left. 24 home runs, 85 RBI, 10 stolen bases, batting .280. Manny Machado is batting cleanup and playing third. 29 home runs, 105 RBI, 11 stolen bases, batting .275. Batting fifth and in center field, it's Jackson Merrill. The rookie is batting .292 on the year, 24 home runs, 90 RBI, 16 stolen bases. Batting sixth and playing short, Bogarts. A .264 average with 11 home runs, 44 RBI, 13 stolen bases. Cronenworth is at second and batting seventh. 17 home runs, 83 RBI, 5 stolen bases, a .241 clip. Solano is at first and batting eighth. 8 home runs, 35 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .286. Batting ninth behind home plate, it's Kyle Higashioka. A .220 average with 17 home runs, 45 RBI, and 2 stolen bases. Calling balls and strikes behind home plate tonight is Nestor Shaja. Your first base umpire, Phil Cousy. Second base will be manned by Jansen Visconti, and down the third base line, it's Dan Iasona. Your left field umpire, Mark Wegner. Right field, it's Eric Backus. Game time temperatures tonight are expected to be around 74 degrees at first pitch, with the wind blowing in from left to right field at about 10 miles an hour. Atlanta Braves on the 2024 season were 89-73, 16 over 500. The Padres 93-69, 24 over 500. San Diego Padres are minus 185 on the money line. The over-under is 7.5. The Braves plus 155 on the money line. The run line plus 1.5, minus 150. We'd like to thank all the Country Club members for helping support the channel. Please become a Country Club member today. And if you haven't already, smash that like and subscribe to Braves Country Radio. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Friars Game one of a 3-game set. It's a best of 3, Braves country. Getting game 1 would be huge with Max Fried on the mound tomorrow. A.J. Smith-Shawver getting the ball, but no indication of exactly how long he'll have. First sign of trouble, that bullpen door will be opening much earlier than what you're expected to see. Not many guys in the lineup have had at-bats against Michael King. Combined, the entire lineup is 0 for 17 versus the right-hander. Jorge Soler 0 for 8, nobody else with more than 2 at-bats. That being said, we're steering clear of Soler power, and our pick to click, give us Money Mike. We've been riding that hot hand into October. This feels like maybe it's his time to shine. We'll take your Atlanta Braves to win a pitcher's Atlanta Braves 3, Padres 2. We got the A.J. Smith-Shawver emoji kicking in the chat. It's the SSAJ steamship emoji for you Country Club members. It's time to warm up those chop arms, Country Club, Braves Country. Get your game face on. Anchors away. The SSAJ is pulling into San Diego.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
Roll call! Yeah, roll call!
You're in Braves country.
Good evening, Braves country. Getting on here just a little bit early because we're going to go over a couple of things. Want to make sure everything was rocking and rolling. We tried to time that up. I don't know if I got it right, but I tried to stop it at 14 seconds after the hour of the moment, or 14 seconds after the minute for Pete Rose, who passed away, number 14, Cincinnati Reds. In case for some reason you did not see that news yesterday. Real quick, gonna go over. I'm just gonna flash these up on the screen. It's one of the reasons why I'm not on cameras, because it's gonna be easier to do it this way. So we're going to look at this as for folks who may not have seen the playoff roster. Here we go. So real quick, we're gonna go over this, and we'll continue to talk about it as the game rolls on. But first and foremost, there's your pitching staff. And you may be wondering, where are guys like Chris Sale? Where are guys like Spencer Schwellenbach? Well, Sale has got the back spasms. And so for all those Twitter dorks that were out there stirring up the conspiracy, I saw it all last night. And I'm sure that's where a lot of the misinformation came onto this channel. I saw some folks thinking this was some conspiracy and they were saving Chris Sale for game 1. Try to tell you all then that was not going to be the case. If they had Chris Sale for last night, they would have shoved him, because you weren't going to screw around in hoping that a bullpen game with a depleted bullpen was going to get you into the playoffs. So that was utter nonsense. So that's why he's not on the roster. The reason why Schwellenbach's on the roster is because he went out there and threw 7 strong on Monday, and this series doesn't end until after Thursday. So no real chance of him coming out there and giving you an inning. So that's why you do have now A.J. Smith-Shawver is the starter, obviously, tonight, but you have guys like Bryce Elder. I think he only gets in if the game gets out of control or we get into late innings and you go into extra innings, someone go out there and give you multiple innings. Luke Jackson's out there probably in the case of us getting just torched, and he would come in to try to spell some innings and save everybody. Realize, you had guys like Iglesias and Jimenez who pitched twice yesterday. I don't think they're going to be available. The chances of us winning this game is going to be slim to none unless A.J. Smith-Shawver goes out there and just pitches an absolute gem, and the guys that we don't expect to see pitch great go out and pitch great. So I don't think we're going to have – I'd be shocked if we had the services of Jimenez or Iglesias in Game 1. They're gonna set it up for Fried in Game 2, Raylo in Game 3, and if you can find a way to scratch it out, you never know. You could get an inning out of Charlie Morton tonight, maybe. And so there you have that. And then as far as the other guys, nothing has changed. This is the same guys we've seen all throughout the year of recent with Whit Merrifield and Whit Merrifield being the main infielder that you don't see in the lineup, but you'll see him come off the bench. And then, of course, in the outfield, Eli White is, along with Jared Kelenic, righty and lefty, both with speed. So there you have that. And we're going to get set for first pitch. It's coming up here in just a second. So let's go ahead and get this thing going like we normally do.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
Roll call. Yeah. Roll call.
You're in Braves country.
Good evening, Braves country. The San Diego Padres are wearing their white home uniforms with the brown pinstripes. Padres across the chest, all outlined in gold with brown lettering, brown hats, gold SD on the front. Braves are wearing their good luck road blues. I'm liking it. They've got the gray pants and the blue tops. And as soon as, just like normal, as soon as we get it lined up, you're going to see the as soon as we get the 3D lined up, sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. You will see the 3D picture in play. Until then, we're going to have the scoreboard up, and of course it's jumping on me because I'm trying to move it. Why wouldn't it? And there we go. All right. At least we're not fighting. Oh, I got a story about that bridge, by the way, that I found out. So wait till you hear about this, why I didn't get on when I was supposed to get on yesterday. Michael Harris is digging in at the plate. We'll stay here at the middle of the first inning and do roll call. So we're not going to have time. First pitch on the way. And yes, sir, it is baseball time in Braves country. First pitch on the way is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swing! That ball's roasted into right field. That ball's down for a base hit. And your Atlanta Braves. 1 on, nobody out. How about that? Let's get it going. I'm sure most of y'all saw the Mets pounded the Brewers. So, hey, maybe the two teams that win the doubleheader go out there and shock the world and win Game 1 of their series. First pitch on the way to Ozzie Albies is check swing foul. It's 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. Runner at first. 1 out. Braves nothing. Padres nothing. Michael King, the pitcher. He's got kind of a funky delivery, so he's got a bit of a delay in his kick. Kind of crouches down and then he brings it. The 0-1 bang foul, it's 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Ball's dragged down the third base line. It's 1-2. Game 1 of a 3-game set. All 3 games in San Diego. Harris at first. King crouches down again, the 1-2. I think we're just about set up to bring you the 3D. The 1-2 to Ozzie. King comes set. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 away. Michael King, what you will see as we bring the 3D scoreboard into play now, you're going to see a 4-pitch mix of sinker, change, and 4-seam fastball. Those 3 pitches he'll come with quite evenly, and the sweeper just underneath. So those 3 pitches, 28, 25, and 24% respectively. The sweeper at 18. He'll throw the slider at 5% just to keep you honest. First pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna is up high for a strike. It's 0-1. Your home plate umpire, Nestor Seja. Not one of the worst umpires that we deal with on a daily basis. The 0-1. Swung on. Chopped foul down towards the dugout, the third base dugout. It's 0-2. Braves nothing. Padres nothing. Just getting going here in game number 1. Come set. Pitch on the way. They're going to call that a strike. Sorry, but the goofy camera work. Who is this doing it tonight? ESPN. Yeah, they're atrocious with their production. They changed the camera view just before the pitch was thrown. And that ball, oh my word, that pitch was well below the knees. 96 miles an hour, about 2 inches low. And Nestor Seja already starting off with a blown call, 2 away. First pitch to Matt Olson. Olson swung on and slices it back foul. It's 0-1. Matt Olson bet at 247 on the year with 29 home runs and 98 RBI. Just missed the 100 RBI in the 30 mark. The 0-1 down below the knees. 0-2. Last time we saw Nestor Seja, what we did see from him is that he has a tendency to set up where he doesn't get a good view of the low pitch away from him. Change up there below the knees, 1-2. You're seeing it on your screen as hitting the zone, but the stat track is showing that is not the case. So 1-2. Pitch to Olson, misses high, 2-2. Rowdy crowd here in San Diego. They normally do have quite a rowdy crowd indeed. The 2-2 to Olson. Deuces wild, 2-2, 2 outs. The pitch, swing. That ball's lifted into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. How about that? Had to have a little top spin on that because that thing dove in front of Fernando Tatis, the right fielder, quickly. We've got runners on the corners with 2 outs. Soler power coming to the plate. So good start so far. Righty-righty matchup. Jorge Soler stands in. First pitch on the way. Slider. Belt high for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Right there on the outer edge. 0-2. He's been given the low strike, but those two did hit the zone. Oh, 2 count. Comes set. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Chased a sinker right around his kneecaps, and that'll end the inning. Braves threaten but can't get him across. The SSAJ is coming aboard when we come back.
Okay, listen, I might not be good looking, but let me tell you, my personality is also a show. I literally have nothing going for me.
Hey, Braves Country, this is Mac Magee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It's free, and it helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
I told my doctor I could only hear buzzing. He said, don't worry, it's just a bug going round.
If you're just finding my content, I'd like to say, welcome to the Freak Show, darling.
For the next decade and a half, Atlanta would dominate the National League, returning again and again to the postseason. The once promising Pirates would go in the opposite direction, often finishing at the bottom of the standings. And their supremely talented left fielder, who had almost thrown Bream out, would never again play for Pittsburgh. During the offseason, he would sign the most expensive free agent contract the game had yet seen. He would go on to become one of the greatest and most controversial players in the history of baseball.
No one in baseball ever supported Bobby Bonds. The owner, the general manager, the press, the teammates, nobody in the game stood up for the father. So what Barry learned about baseball was great talent matters, great scholarship about the game matters, but you can't count on anybody in this game to stand up for you because they didn't stand up for my father.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Luis Arias will be leading us off here. And A.J. Smith-Shawver, or as he's known around these parts, the SSAJ, will set to take his first pitches since May 23rd against the Cubs. That's his only appearance. 4 1/3, no earned runs, 4 strikeouts. That's it. First pitch on the way, 93 up top for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Comes set, kicks and fires. 82 misses high, changeup. 1-1. 1-1 count. Shawver fires in another changeup, 83 miles an hour. That one misses, 2-1. The SSAJ, of course, he pitched quite a bit in 2023. Lifts his teal glove and brings it. 93 outside wide, 3-1. Very dangerous lineup that he's going to be facing today, obviously, with the Padres, one of the better offenses in baseball. Last thing you want to do is start giving away free passes. The 3-1 pitch. Swing! Pops it up. High in the sky. Will it stay in play? It will not. Bends back into the seats past the first base dugout. Full count. As far as the Chris Sale thing goes, the expectations is if the Braves could find a way to make it past this round, he would be available next round. First pitch, the pitch on the way is swung on. That ball slapped into left field, and it's a leadoff single for the San Diego Padres. Arias, that's his favorite place to go against right-handers. He just tries to get on. He just tries to slice it and get on. Batting title this year in the National League, batted .314. with not a ton of pop. He's not someone who's going to turn and burn on you. So many games we've done of his when he was with Miami. First pitch on the way to Tatis is blasted. That ball's gone. Kiss that one goodnight. And the Padres lead it 2-0. See how far that thing went. That thing was absolutely cooked. Tatis, 113 miles an hour off the bat, 415 feet. And the Friars jump out to the early lead. Probably some early game jitters from A.J. Smith-Shawver. That pitch just got way too much at the plate, and he was sitting dead red on the fastball. So down 2-0. That'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Jurickson Profar. First pitch is a 4-seam fastball. Right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 misses inside. 2-1. 2-1 count. Manny Machado stands on deck. The pitch down and in. Ball 2, 2-1. One thing's for sure, if AJ's going to make it deep into this game, he's going to have to get out in front of the batters. He can't keep falling behind. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 95 up top. 2-2. If you haven't seen AJ pitch, or if it's been a while, you may forget, he's got good stuff. He's just not very experienced, and you're throwing him into the fire, so he's here to do whatever he can do to try to make this a game tonight. The 2-2 pitch. Swing. Slaps it back foul. 2-2 count. Pitch from AJ. Inside. Did he go around? They said he did not, so it's a full count. San Diego 2, Atlanta 0. Bottom of the first. The payoff pitch from AJ. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him with the bender. Pulled the string on that one. One away. That was a nice bender. I'm sure he was sitting dead red on that one. Manny Machado, your batter. First pitch is upstairs, 74 miles an hour for a strike, curveball. It's 0-1. The 0-1 swung on, foul back, 0-2. 0-2 count. Brings it, swung on, and dribbled over to short. Arcia's got it, flips it to first, 2 away. So maybe AJ's getting his feet underneath him. I will say this. So you know how it's become okay for batters to gloat and to celebrate? On that home run, they just showed a replay, an up-close replay of Tatis. As the first pitch on the way is to Jackson Merrill, is slapped into left field, down for a base hit, in between the 5-6 hole. 2-out single. Keeps the inning going. When he hit the ball, he stared at Shawver for a second, I guess to see if he was looking back. Now that is one, and I know nowadays it has become okay to gloat, but when you do that, I mean, if you wear one in the ribs, son, the next time you come up, don't complain, because that's still a no-no in any sport. It's okay to celebrate, but you're not supposed to be basically shoving it in the face of your opponent and embarrassing them. I don't know if Shawver even saw it or anyone will even bring it up to him, but if you know you're about to get lifted from the game, just go ahead and give him an old rib sandwich. First pitch on the way is a curveball down and in for a strike to Xander Bogaerts. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Down below the knees. 1-1. Wanda says so much for short lease. You ain't going to go and send him out there for 2 strikes, Wanda. Get it together. The 1-1 count. You got a depleted bullpen. If you haven't paid attention to any of the other baseball that's played the last 162 games of the Braves. Pitch on the way, swung on. That ball's banged over to second. Ozzy's got it, and that'll end the inning. 4-3 putout. So a rocky start, but he got his feet back under him. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country, trailing 2-0.
Looks like you got some stuff going on. Want to tell me what you did? Want to tell me who you did? Was it a boy?
Sometimes you need to take the opportunity just to come out and see a full moon is that complete rounded circle, which is made up mostly of gases. The question is why or how could we as humans live on the moon? The gas is such that we could do that. The sun is a mighty powerful heat that is almost impossible to go near the sun. The moon is more manageable.
We'd like to know from you. Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
Roll call! Yeah, roll call!
You're in Braves Country.
Time for roll call. Good evening, the Beeve Country Club member. Good evening, the Goat Country Club member. I know I saw John. Who else do we have in here? James Hagan, Country Club member. Good to see you. Billy Sanford, Country Club member. Nathaniel Brooks, also in the Country Club. Keith Parker, Country Club member. Gary McCoy, the real McCoy. I'm assuming, yeah, there he is. What you talking about, Willis Mathis in here? Robert, Ron, DTO, Tara, about to start this next inning, so if I miss anybody, just jump back in there. Ethan, Justin. We are just about set here for the top of the second inning. Ramon Laureano leads us off. First pitch on the way is a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Wanda, good to see you. Who else do we have in here? Eddie. The 0-1, swatted high. Not very deep in right field. Coming in, making the running catches. Tatis, one away. Remember, Tatis was originally a shortstop. He's not god-awful out in right field, but he's not exactly a Gold Glover. You'll see him struggle with balls just like that where he has hard reads on it. But he's got a cannon for an arm, so he does make up for it for that. Good to see I don't know who this is over in the Facebook. They were trying to put some kind of weird I don't know what it was, but I'm assuming you're putting a WhatsApp number, you're trying to get some what do they call it? OnlyFans going on there. First pitch on the way. after the called strike is a ball outside wide. It's 1-1. The 1-1 to Travis d'Arnaud, batting .238 on the year. Kicks and fires. Down and in, 2-1. Good to see Andrew Jones is in the crowd. 5-time All-Star with the Braves. Should be in the Hall of Fame, the 2-1. Outside wide, 3-1. So a 3-1 count. Kicks and fires. Swung on, chops it over to third. Manny Machado's got the handle on it. Took him a second, but he's got it. 2 away. Thank you, Billy. Billy with his donation, always appreciate it. I thought I saw another one earlier. I'm trying to find it. I have to scroll quite a bit to get to it, so bear with me. First pitch on the way to Gio Urshela. He's outside wide for a ball, 1-0. He had a big hit last night. Got the game-winning RBI, second inning. The 1-0. Swung on, swatted back, 1-1. I guess there was a question about whether or not who's pitching next. It should be Max and then Raylo. Well, I know Raylo came in yesterday. It was for 1 inning, and those are the stretch days for starters. So you'll see that in the postseason as the 1-1 pitch misses outside, 96 miles an hour, 2-1. They'll come in for an inning, and it won't affect their next start. Good to see you, Bug. Charles Fritz, Country Club member. Tony, the 2-1, outside wide. Sweeper in the dirt, 3-1. 3-1 count. Brian Andrews, Country Club member. Good to see. I don't think I grabbed that one. There it was. I know I saw the beeve. Oh, I thought it was that. 3-1 pitch, swung on, popped up high in the sky. Jackson Merrill will call off Tatis and end the inning. Braves 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the second. A.J. Smith-Shawver will try to get his feet underneath them, trailing 2-0.
Am I boring? Sure. Social skills? None. But I'm loyal if you feed me, and I will never leave you because, well, I need the food.
Please like and subscribe today. It's free, and it helps us bring you more. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
I think one of my biggest faults is that when I ask somebody what their name is, I forget to listen to what their name is.
On July 15th, 1994, in a game between the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians, umpires confiscated a bat belonging to the Indian star slugger Albert Bell. They suspected Bell had tampered with it, illegally hollowing it out and filling it with cork to enhance his bat speed. Bell's teammates were worried. They were sure that all of Bell's bats were corked and did not want their best player suspended. Indians pitcher Jason Grimsley had a plan to get his teammate off the hook. Gripping a flashlight with his teeth, he hoisted himself into the crawl space above the clubhouse and inched along on his stomach until he was on top of the umpire's dressing room where Bell's bat had been locked away for safekeeping. Grimsley lowered himself into the room, replaced Bell's bat with an unadulterated one belonging to another player, and then crawled back to the clubhouse. The umpires were furious when they discovered the switch, but there was little they could do about it.
The hero of the piece is probably Jason Grimsley because he's the one acting on behalf of the team. But there's your problem with cheating. Some of it is, in fact, weirdly commendable, if not noble. You know, Gaylord Perry, how many times did he throw a spitball, and how many times did he merely convince you that he threw a spitball? How many of these are not so much cheats as deceptions, artful deceptions?
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Good to see you, Edward Spry, Country Club member. Joseph, good to see you. First pitch on the way from A.J. Smith-Shawver is a curveball. As that hit the batter, bend it in hit him on the backside, back leg. 1 on, nobody out here in the second. You got to look at this game, and I know it's hard for a lot of fans to realize this, but this game, not saying it's a throwaway, but they're going to see what they can get out of it and see if they can hang in there. But when they're just absolutely good to see you, Dave. Velvet, good to see you. I think I said Daryl, but just in case I didn't. First pitch on the way is a fastball up top for a strike. It's 0-1. But this is a game that they're not necessarily going to throw it away, but you're not going to burn your bullpen because the idea of this whole thing is to win 2 of these 3. You don't have to win all 3 of them. The 0-1 from AJ. Swung on, pop back foul. 0-2. You got to figure, once AJ gets used to the whole thing, I mean, that's a lot to throw in on a young kid. He hasn't pitched all year since May in the major leagues. And it's, oh, by the way, you're game 1 starter. And our bullpens wore out, so I don't know how much help we can give you. The 0-2 in the dirt, 1-2. So you're going to have to score some runs, and I know that hasn't been our strength with all the injuries. 1-2 count. Righty. Brings it. Down and away. Changeup misses out of the zone. 2-2. A.J. Smith-Shawver, by the way, is at 26 pitches, no outs here in the second. He turns around and flips it over to first. Keep the runner close by. There was a rumor out there on Twitter, and it's kind of funny, so I don't know if he actually landed with the team, but people swore they saw him on the charter, that Ian Anderson made the flight out there. And I haven't seen that confirmed by any credible sources. The 2-2 slapped down into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Soler cuts it off, but they'll go have runners on first and third and nobody out. Trouble again here in the second. But you got to look at the big picture in this series. No matter what happens tonight, you've got Max Fried going tomorrow night. And there's no one better in the big moments than Max Fried. Would you have liked to have had Sale? Sure. But you're not going to send out an injured pitcher to go out there because that's not going to work out. The only thing that I think they made mistakes about was game 1 yesterday. If you knew that Chris Sale was in a bad way and was not going to be able to pitch, and they had to have known that by yesterday morning, Schwellenbach should have been safe for game 2. Because if you can win a goofy bullpen game in game 1, then you would have Schwellenbach shoving right now as Aaron Bummer is warming up in the bullpen. But you would have Schwellenbach warming up right now, or Schwellenbach would be on the bump right now, and you know that he would have stepped up in the big moment. First pitch on the way is a 94 fastball at the knees on the outer edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swung on, lifted. High into center field. Drifting over. Michael Harris will make the catch. Should be an easy score, and it is. It's 3-0. Cronenworth slides into home plate, but there's no need. There was no throw. Harris made sure the runner at first stayed put. And Brian Snicker, he's going to go ahead and go out there. And if he's going out there, I would think that's it for A.J. Smith-Shawver. He gave it a valiant effort, the kid. I feel bad for him because you can tell it's just tearing him apart. But Aaron Bummer's going to come on and try to put the fire out here, and then we'll just see how they build it for the rest of the way.
Y'all want to know who I date, who I go with?
No.
He's got to come in with a fastball and gain a fastball hitter. Deep to left. There's Ron Gant's first ever grand slam.
I was talking to I was talking to one of my friends, and he told me that him and his new girlfriend were trying something new, so they wanted to try bees. So, and he said, "Did you know that you're supposed to pull beads out real slow?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know that." He was like, "Me neither. I started that girl up like a chainsaw."
I'm 40. I threw my back out plugging in my phone charger the other day. I'm 40. Why are everyone's headlights so bright? I'm 40. If there's no parking, I'm not going. I'm 40. I'm going to calculate my sugar intake relative to hours before bed. I'm 40. Why are there so many people everywhere all the time? I'm 40. I'm cranky, and I'll be the first one to tell you.
2 outs, 2 strikes on Reggie, and you've got to know he's going to get the super sinker. The set, here it comes. The sinker swung on and missed. Reggie is fuming.
Late in his career, Hall of Fame pitcher Gaylord Perry confessed what those who had played against him knew all too well, that he had regularly doctored the ball. Generations of major leaguers, including some of the greatest stars in the game, used some form of amphetamines to increase their focus and energy. But by the late 1980s, some baseball players had found a new way to gain an edge.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Aaron Bummer will come on to try to, I would say they're going to try to get at least 1 inning out of him. Inning plus if he can get this inning and maybe the next. First pitch on the way to Arias is slapped down the third base line, just foul. It's 0-1. It's a little dangerous what they're doing there, playing Arias to pull. Actually, I'm not going to say dangerous. It's the Braves guys that are in charge of is the 0-1 pitch, swung on. Baltimore chopper towards second. Ozzie steps on second, fires it to first, and it is a double play to end the inning. Good play by the Wiz. We will head to break and try to scratch the scoreboard when we come back.
I'm the Wiz, I'm the Wiz, I'm the Wiz. I'm the Wiz and nobody beats me.
Interesting facts about me. I was born on my birthday. I don't tell everybody this, but I'm also naked under my clothes.
Spring training, the precursor to the regular season. Here's the history of spring training. The first baseball team to host spring training outside of their home field was the New York Mutuals when they traveled to New Orleans in 1869. Aside from New Orleans, teams would also train in Washington, D.C., Georgia, and Cape May in New Jersey. Originally, not all teams participated in spring training. One manager argued that players would be more susceptible to injuries and colds when they returned to their colder home climates. The birthplace of spring training baseball could be traced back to Hot Springs, Arkansas, where the first major league teams would visit before the season started. Babe Ruth's first time playing any position other than pitcher occurred in a spring training game on St. Patrick's Day in 1918. The first time the phrase pitchers and catchers report was used was in an article in the Sporting News in 1924. After World War II, both the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Yankees trained outside of the United States in the Dominican Republic and Cuba. The Grapefruit League got its name after an aviator named Ruth Law was supposed to drop a baseball 500 feet out of her plane for the Brooklyn Dodgers manager Wilbert Robinson to catch, but instead used a grapefruit because she forgot the ball. Usually the team with the best record in spring training doesn't go on to win the whole thing, but it has happened. Both the 2009 Yankees and the 2018 Boston Red Sox won both the Grapefruit League and the World Series in the same year.
So it wasn't just Ken Seiko, and so one of the reasons that I thought that it was an important subject was it was spreading. It was already spreading by 1988.
The sports writer Tom Boswell tried to raise the issue, but no one paid attention. Soon, other players, including some of Canseco's Oakland teammates, were asking him for advice following his training program.
We began seeing these enormous bodies like we'd never seen before. And, you know, when you saw some guys take off their shirts, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what's going on here?
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves trail this one 3-0. You'll notice with the postseason games, the breaks are a little longer. First pitch on the way is a sinker up top to Arcia for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Inside, did it get him? Man, that was close. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Braves trail by 3, but still early on. We knew this was going to be a bit of a bullpen game. If you're asking me what they were expecting out of Shawver, is the 1-1, swing and a miss, slider 1 and 2. They were probably hoping for 3 and in a perfect world 4 innings, but it was highly unlikely. Got to realize he's been off for a bit. And to clarify, Brian Snitker didn't make that call. The 1-2. Swing, that ball slapped over to second. Right there, making the play on a 4-3 put out. Cronenworth to Solano. 1 away. All that is done by the analytics department as far as most of the how they're going to build this game, but they would have made that decision with the front office on who was going to play. First pitch on the way to Michael Harris II is high and out of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 swing, chops it over towards. That's going to get through for a base hit. Over on the first base side. At first it looked like that Solano was going to have a chance to make a diving stop over there, but it just got underneath his glove. Your Atlanta Braves. That makes Michael Harris II 2 for 2. They were playing him off the line. Solano's just missed it. Hard hit ball. Worm burner just underneath his glove. Ozzie Albies the batter. Michael King crouches and brings it. 95 up top. It's 0-1. If you're not familiar with King, he came over from the Yankees, and he's been a good pitcher his entire career. Started in the relief role and then went to the Yankees. He was a part of the Soto trade. He's been a solid right-handed pitcher for these Padres. Pitch on the way, swung on, laced down the line, but just foul. Sweeper inside. It's 0-2. 0-2 count. Braves trail by 3. Still a long way to go in this one. I think one of the things you would like to see if you're Atlanta, if you can't pull this one out, is the 0-2. Swatted back foul. Do it again. You would love to put a dent into their bullpen. You got to realize the Padres have pretty well rested. They tried to chase down the Dodgers but failed again. And once they failed to chase down the Dodgers, they set themselves up for the playoffs this weekend. So if you can get into the bullpen and wear out some of those arms beginning of the series, it could pay dividends in games 2 and 3. The 1-2 down and away, or 0-2 down and away, it's 1-2. And it's not just wearing them down to where they can't be used. Also, the idea would be for some of our guys to see some of their guys as many times as they can. Because you go to the well on a reliever 3 times in 3 days, that third time, the batter has a definite advantage. King flips it over to first to keep Harris close by. King brings it. Swing and a miss. Sweeper on the outer edge. 2 away. I just think that one of the biggest problems with what they're doing with Ozzie is that he's not used to seeing right-handed batters from the right side, so he's going to have some struggles. But you're just basically going to live with that because of what he can bring you. That'll bring Marcell Ozuna to the plate, someone who can definitely bring it. Takes the first pitch down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. That goat says Tatis taking PEDs. I'm sure, he did in the past. What would make him stop now? The 1-0 to Ozuna. Outside wide. 2-0. 2-0 count. Harris at first. Anything that would get down in the gap, he would score with these. The 2-0. Swing. That ball's lifted into left field. That'll get down for a base hit. And Braves have runners on first and second. 2 outs. Not a hard hit ball, but just over the outstretched glove of Machado. If you haven't watched Machado a lot, y'all, Machado can absolutely bring it on the glove side. He's one of the best third basemen in baseball. So if he can't get to a ball, he can't be gotten to. So Matt Olson will stand in. First and second, 2 outs. One swing would tie it, by the way. First pitch on the way, right there at the knees. It's 0-1. I think you have to be realistic, too. If you're going to upset the Padres, and we are a huge underdog in this series because of the injuries, if you were going off the rosters on opening day, the Braves would be favored, but that's not the case. The 0-1 swung on, slapped it down the left field side, but fouling out of play, quickly down 0-2. You have to realize if we're going to pull off an upset on the road in these circumstances, we're going to have some guys who have been sputtering to catch fire in at least 2 of the games. The 0-2, swing, slaps it back again. Second time through the lineup for the Braves. Remember, not many of it, if you missed the pregame, only Jorge Soler had seen Michael King a ton. He'd seen him. He was 0 for 8. Everyone else in the lineup was 0 for 1 or 0 for 2 lifetime. And 3 guys had never seen him at all. The 0-2, check swing foul. Tried to hold up. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that was up and out of the zone, but couldn't quite hold up. He didn't go around, but the bat head did slap the ball. So an 0-2. Runners will be going on contact. The 0-2. Crouching King brings it. Swing and a miss. Chase that bender well out of the zone. That'll end the inning. Braves threaten again. Can't get him across. We're starting to make some noise. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Out of all my body parts, my eyeballs are the strongest because I roll them like 342 times a day.
You see this? He can't hit, he can't run, and he should have been born a girl. The only way he can catch a ball is if it hits him directly in the mouth. And yet, he shows up week after week just like a cold sore. If he can try, you can try. Now get out there and act like there's something in those jock straps.
Happy day to everyone except people that insist on putting loose change on top of dollar bills in your receipt in your hand. Like, don't do that. Change first.
In the wake of drug scandals that had rocked the game in the 1980s, Commissioner Fay Vincent was more concerned with preventing cocaine and marijuana abuse. And the powerful Major League Baseball Players Association, now led by Donald Fear, was vehemently opposed to any mandatory steroid screening program as a violation of their members' right to privacy. As a result, professional baseball players were free to take whatever they wanted, with no fear of punishment.
The notion that we would willingly surrender to our employer as the price of a job all the protections we insist on from the government is a rather extraordinary notion.
The Players Association did a horrible job in this case. They should have seen this early on and said, wait a minute, how can we expect some of our players to compete at a competitive disadvantage or force them to make the horrible choice of running whatever risks there may be to their health or their reputations or whatever it may be to either use to keep up or don't use and inevitably fall behind? Who is it that we represent? The guilty or the innocent?
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Looked like it was getting pretty close to the century mark, so I didn't chop it down. If y'all can keep hitting that like button, we appreciate it. Just a few away to go ahead and chop that sign down. Tatis, the batter. Bummer back out there on the bump. The first pitch on the way. 82 just below the knees. They called that a strike. Okay, 0-1. The 0-1 down and in. 1-1. Had to wait for everything to clear off the screen, man. There's a lot of junk on the ESPN screen. My God. The 1-1 count brings it down and away. 2-1. Kind of forget how bad the ESPN production is until you have to deal with it, because we didn't play a ton of Sunday night games, and we haven't been in the wild card round yet. Not since they changed the format. So a 2-2 count to Tatis after he fouled that one down the third base side. Braves trail by 3. Still a long way to go in this one, just in the third inning. The 2-2. In the dirt, nowhere near the zone. Full count. Full count. If you missed the scores from earlier today, Tigers, Mets, and Royals all won their first games. The payoff pitch. Outside wide. Did he go around? They're going to say he did not. Ball 4, and he'll head on down to first. I mean, if you're going to walk him, you might as well have just put one right on his kneecap, right? One on, nobody out. Jurickson Profar, the batter. First pitch on the way is roped down the left field line, foul. And he put a charge into that one. It's 0-1. Lefty-righty matchup. Profar, switch hitter, batting from the right side this time. The 0-1. Swung on and lifted. High into right center field. Solaire's going to call off Michael. F9 in your scorecard. One away. One down, and Manny Machado, the batter. Machado, 0 for 1. Lefty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way. Down and away. 1-0. Machado grounded out to short his first time up. The 1-0. Swung on, ripped over to third. It's going to be a 5, 4, 3, inning-ending, rally-killing double play. So one thing that doesn't slump or get tired is that old Braves defense. We'll be back in a flash. Try to put one on the board when we come back.
I feel like if God wanted to make me mentally stable, he would have made me mentally stable.
but he didn't. So lock your doors.
After that tough 7-game series, Rodman had comments.
Yes.
About Larry Legend. Then they come to you.
Yeah.
And you had comments.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? Game 7, I think Larry has like a triple-double, he torched Rodman, right? So Rodman's all upset. They get him the mic, and he says what he says, right? And I kind of echo it. Now, here's the beauty of it. Larry, you had my career right in the palm of your hand. Had you handled that press conference different, you could have just but this is what this man said.
If the statements or whatever was said doesn't bother me, I don't think it should bother any of us. But I just feel sorry for Isaiah because, just walking in this room and seeing everybody, it must have touched a lot of people. But if Isaiah tells me that it was a joking matter, I think we should leave it at that.
Come on, we've been in them locker rooms, taking tough losses. Competition sometimes brings the best out of you and the worst. Isaiah was a great basketball player. He had a big career ahead of it. But damage his career by saying something I didn't mean.
Do you think I'm elitist?
Of course I do. You needn't worry about that.
No, not in a good way.
Ever since the players had formed their union in 1966, tensions with the owners had steadily escalated. There had been a strike or a lockout every time they had to negotiate a new contract.
Basically what? They're arguing over how to spend our money, right? I'm a baseball fan. I like to see them play ball, but, I have no sympathy for either party. None.
The fact that it shut down and stayed shut down was devastating. I can remember being in New York in the fall and being on the 7 train and going past Shea Stadium, and it looked like a graveyard to me. I can remember just thinking they should be playing right now and just being so angry to the point where there were tears in my eyes.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Michael King go back to work. 48 pitches in his first 3 innings. Braves will have Jorge Soler, Ramon Laureano, and Travis d'Arnaud due up. Righty-righty matchup. Jorge Soler swings and lifts it into right center field. Drifting over, making the catch is Merrill. Long, loud out number 1. Right before the warning track in the deepest part of the ballpark here at Petco. 1 away. That does make Jorge Soler, by the way, 0 for 10 lifetime versus King. Laureano, first pitch, swinging. Dribbles it down the third base line, but it's foul. It's 0-1. I think we knew we were going to be uphill in this game. It's not just who you had to throw out there. You got to think about how exhausted these guys are. The time change, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, the Mets beat the Brewers, but first of all, I think San Diego's a much better team than Milwaukee. That's number 1. Number 2, you're not talking about the drastic time change and all that goes into that, but also the Braves had to, and it was the way they set it up, but the Braves had to win that last game where the Mets just kind of were on cruise control. First pitch on the way is inside for a ball. It's 1-0. I heard they said this morning that they were asking Francisco Alvarez about how he felt in game 2. Could he have played? And he was talking about him and the other guys who didn't play, about how exhausted they were. Pitch on the way. That ball's blasted deep down the left field line. Foul. But it goes into the upper deck. When I say upper deck, that's easily 400 feet away. The very top deck here at Petco, up in the nosebleeds, someone got a Laureano souvenir. The 1-2, outside wide 2-2. You think about all these injuries we've had. Where would we be without Ramon Laureano? He's had some big hits to get us into postseason. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 away. Two down. That'll bring Travis d'Arnaud to the plate. d'Arnaud, 0 for 1. Grounded out to third his first time up. First pitch on the way. Down and away. Slider misses. It's 1-0. The one thing the Braves are doing that they don't typically do is they are working the count, so they're doing a pretty good job on that front. The 1-0 misses, down and away, 2-0. 2-0 count. King has yet to walk a batter. He has struck out 6 and given up 4 hits. The 2-0 from King. Swing, laced into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. That's going to get past the left fielder, and Profar is going to throw it to second, and Travis d'Arnaud with a face-first slide. He is safe. Great hustle by TDA. The Padres immediately looked up to see if they wanted to challenge it. They do not, it appears. Tell you what, Travis didn't do a great job of sliding there, but he did get the left hand in there. He got a belly flop. But the tag missed him as he extended with his left hand as the second baseman, Cronenworth, was off balance and reaching towards his right hand. But it looked like a little kid that had just learned how to slide it. I think he might have slipped. First pitch on the way is a sweeper, swing and a miss. Gio Urshela's 0-1. The 0-1. That was priceless. The 0-1 count brings it right there at the knees, 95 miles an hour. 0-2. Thank you, Billy, for the kindness here at Braves Country Radio. The 0-2. Kicks and fire. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Man, he went out there chasing that one. That was in the other batter's box. Good pitch by King. Braves are starting to chip away. We're going to get on the board here before you know it. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Be like, men can get pregnant and have periods too, and don't you dare say otherwise. And another thing, until a man can get pregnant and carry a baby, I don't want to hear his opinion on abortion.
So everybody says if you take the coordinates to the Miami Mall and you reverse them, it'll put you in Antarctica.
Yeah, it's a grid system, dude. Latitude, longitude. It's a grid system. Yeah, that's how it works.
So all this talk of portals and stuff opening up, right? You change the north to east and change the west to south. That's it. It puts you right in Antarctica. Isn't that crazy?
Except it isn't, dude. It isn't. Have you ever seen a graph? It's not that crazy. I want to be an idiot. I want to be dumb, dude. Because you got to be dumb to just... Oh, somebody told me if you mix these numbers, then that's a portal to another. No further questions.
Now watch this. Watch what happens when I change the south and the east to north and west. Look where it puts me in.
Is it putting you on the other side of the graph, dude? Are you going to the other side of the graph?
Now, what are the odds of that?
It is a grid system. The odds are pretty good, dude. Have you never seen a graph? You can go up, you can go down, you can go left and right. What are you not getting about this? I wish I was an idiot, dude. Your life seems simple and great, and I'm envious.
Y'all, I recently realized that it's really important for me to get out of the house every once in a while to remind myself why I don't go out.
Suffer a shocking loss, and you think it's never going to be the same again. And you're thinking, I'm not going to another game. I'm not going to pay the prices that go into the players' pockets and into the management's wallets. I'm not going to do it. I'm sick of all of them. And then Ripken comes along.
Welcome back to the Braves Country Radio. So one of the things you want to look at here when you're facing the Padres, their bullpen's not awful. Don't get me wrong. But it's not elite. Braves bullpen ranked number 3 in all of Major League Baseball. And the Padres were 11th. And so they were half a run, just over a half run higher than the Braves on the ERA scale. That may not sound like a lot, but over a season, that's a lot, which means that there's cracks in the armor. You can get to them. So the Braves can just hang around. You never know what could happen at the end of this game. Aaron Bummer will go back out there to work. First pitch on the way is a sweeper on the outer edge for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 swung on, chopped foul down the line. 1-1. Yeah, I agree with that, Grateful. In the back of every Padres mind, there is doubt. 1-1 count. Swing. Slices it foul. 1-2. You just wonder if you would have been better off having someone else start, but you can probably second guess that to death. 1-2 again, a slot back foul. This time he went with the sinker. Jackson Merrill 1-for-1 on the day. When I first saw the lineups, I mean the rosters come out, honestly, what I thought may happen is the 1-2 misses 2-2. And I wasn't excited about it because I knew that the Padres had pounded Bryce Elder before, but I thought we were going to get Bryce Elder with the start, and the piggyback would be A.J. Smith-Shawver, which they've done before, bring him in like around the third or fourth inning. The 1-2, or 2-2, excuse me, is fouled back out of play. We'll do it again. But the idea that Bryce Elder's on this roster just tells you how depleted they are, because not that Elder can't turn into a good pitcher one day, but he got clubbed when he faced the Padres earlier in the season. I believe it was a Sunday night game. That was kind of the last straw of seeing Elder in the rotation at the beginning of the year. The 2-2. Bummer brings it. Swing, chops it over towards first. Olson's got it, flips it to Bummer. That's going to be close. Just got him by maybe a quarter step. One away. Good hustle by Aaron Bummer. Merrill can fly. The center fielder, the rookie. And he was busting it down the line. He just got over there. One down. Braves trail 3-0. First pitch on the way is 93 at the knees to Bogarts. It's 0-1. Xander Bogaerts, ex-Boston Red Sox. If you missed the news last night, minor league player of the year was in the Red Sox organization. The 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. They have 5 guys in the top 75 of minor league baseball prospects. The Boston Red Sox do. It reminded me of just before this Braves team took off. The 1-1 swung on, chopped foul, 1-2. When we had all those guys right down there, all the guys that are now up with the team down on the farm, and you were waiting for them to, to really make their mark. I'll say this. I don't know if it'll be a huge difference in the standings, but watch out for the Boston Red Sox in 2025. The 1-2 swung on, drilled over towards short. Arcia's got it, fires it over to first. 2 away. Sometimes it is hard to keep up with y'all in the chat, but sometimes I catch stuff out of the corner of my eye. I can't help but laugh. I don't know what Kai's saying about my name is Barry Bonds and I endorse this message, but I guarantee it's got something to do with Tatis and steroids. Jake Cronenworth, the batter, lefty-lefty matchup, right there, sinker at the knees. It's 0-1. Aaron Bummer, honestly, has pitched pretty well, and you could possibly get another inning out of him. The 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. And if he could bridge you to get to the 6th inning, that would actually be kind of a godsend to the Snicker and company. They don't want to have to use anyone that they really need to use tomorrow in an elimination game if we lose. 0-2 count. Kicks and fires. Down and away. 1-2. Braves trail 3-0. But it's game 1 of a 3-game set. And once again, the big thing about the strategy here is you got to win 2. The 1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Bummer's out there doing stuff that we haven't seen him do much this year. He's out there cruising. We'll be back in a flash. Arcia leads us off when we come back.
Can someone explain to me how 2 + 2 and 2 × 2 equal 4? Like they both, like what's the point? What's the point in multiplication if it just means the same thing? Like,
what do you call when you can't drink milk?
Lactose intolerant.
Lactose and what?
Lactose intolerant. That's when you can't drink milk and stuff. That's how you say it.
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball.
I just want to be clear. You're upset because we made friends with your cat?
You're unreasonable people. You're holding our cat. Go in your yard and say, go home. Don't come in our yard anymore.
She will not listen. She's a cat. She doesn't speak English. She's a cat, dude.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, we'll have the police department figure it out.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Great idea.
All right, you cat pervert.
I've done nothing to bring the cat. I've done nothing to bring the...
On September 6th, 1995, 5 months after the strike had ended, the Orioles faced the California Angels in Baltimore. Tickets for this game had been sold out for months. After 4.5 innings of play, the game was official. Cal Ripken had played in 2,131 consecutive games.
For the moment you've been waiting for.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. That's got to be right up there with one of my favorite clips that we do. We've got a ton that we're doing in the off season. Next year, you'll be hard pressed to hear the same clip more than once. But that one there, man, that some of these that I hear, I forget we have them, and then I hear that guy yelling out, "Cat pervert! Cat pervert!" Orlando Arcia will try to get things going here in the top of the 5th. 60 pitches in for King. First pitch, swatted. Foul down the third base line. It's 0-1. Sinker was up and in on his hands. Tell you what, this Michael King, I haven't seen him pitch in a while. He's got some nasty movement. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swing. Got underneath that one. Popped it up. High in the sky, very shallow left field. Xander Bogaerts will make the catch. One away. Yeah, I agree, Robert. I cannot stand when you're saying broadcasters, but I think you're talking about the reporter on the field when they're talking to the managers. And I know it's during the break, but I'm like, just can we focus on the game? Can y'all quit trying to come up with fillers? First pitch on the way is a changeup off the edge. I don't know about that one. Called for a strike. It's 0-1. Harris, 2 for 2. 2 singles, both the right field. The 0-1. Slice foul and out of play. 0-2. So those first 2 at bats, both balls that he hit to right field were on the inner cut. You got to figure, and I'm sure Harris is thinking the same thing, are they going to try to stay away from me? They did on the first 2. They set up inside. 94 misses. 1-2. Maybe trying to set him up there and go back out. 1-2 count. Standing on deck is Ozzie. The 1-2. Swing, chops it over towards first. This time, Cronenworth will make the play. He'll flip it to King, 2 down. Two away. Willis. Get that cat off your leg, Willis. First pitch on the way to Ozzie Albies outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Braves trail, but only 3-0. Still a long way to go in this one. The 1-0. Sinker. Down low for a ball. 2-0. 2-0 count. Ozzie Albies open stance from the right side. 95 missed the zone, but got the wide strike called. 2-1. Ozzie looking over back at home plate umpire, Nestor Seja. The 2-1, 70th offering of the evening. That one was a strike, 4-seam fastball. Evens up the count at 2-2. If Ozzie can get on, Marcell Ozuna stands on deck. If not, we'll have the heart of the order due up in the 6th. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Nasty sinker, and that'll end the inning. That wide strike call really screwed up that at bat. We'll head to break, trailing by 3 here in the bottom of the 5th in Southern California.
I may not be famous, and I may not be a beauty queen. That's it. That's all.
This is the career of Denton Young. People who witnessed his fastball destroy fences said it looked like a cyclone hit it, and that's how he got the nickname Cy. Because he threw so hard, one of his battery mates named Charles Zimmer used to put a beefsteak inside of his glove to protect his catching hand. He was a workhorse. On the last day of his rookie season, he pitched both games of a doubleheader, and not surprisingly, won both of them. They say he is one of the reasons they changed the distance from the mound to home plate in 1893. Around 1895, he developed a pitch called a slow ball to help reduce the stress on his arm. If you're wondering what a slow ball is, look no further than the changeup. In 1902, he joined the Boston Americans of the American League. How did he fare? Pretty good, considering he won almost 42% of his team's games in his first season with the team. Threw the first perfect game in American League history against the Philadelphia Athletics. He still holds the record for the most consecutive innings without allowing a hit. 25 1/3 innings, or 76 hitless batters. In 1911, he retired at the age of 44. His 749 complete games and 511 wins will never be broken.
Armchair.
Hey, could somebody explain to me what's the use of having health insurance when all we do is pay a bunch of money every month in case something happens, but when something does happen, we have to pay a bunch more?
0-2 pitch. Fastball blown away.
When you watched Pedro, it was almost poignant in a way that someone that small could throw that hard. Most great pitchers, you look at them and they all have one great strikeout pitch. If the count's 0-2 or if he even counts 3-2, he always has one place to go to get you out. Well, Pedro Martinez had 3 places to get you out. It was the fastball, it was the changeup, and it was the curveball. They were all the best pitches of their kind in baseball at the time. And he could put them anywhere that he wanted.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves trail 3-0. We head to the bottom of the 5th. San Diego three runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Braves 5 hits, but no runs to show for it. Jesse Chavez will come on, so that'll be it for Bummer. So that tells you that they do want to try to save Aaron for another possible outing in this series. Jesse Chavez comes in with his 3.13 ERA. First pitch on the way. Slaps a strike there. Down the plate, it's 0-1. The 0-1. Swung on, lifted. High and deep into right field. Going back on the track. Making the running catch is Jorge Soler for out number 1. That ball looked like it was gonna keep going and going. but it died just before the right center field wall. If you're just joining us and you're wanting to know how we got here, A.J. Smith-Shawver was charged with all three of the runs you see on your scoreboard. He went 1 1/3, 3 earned runs. First pitch from Jesse is a 1-0. The 1-0 is swung on and lifted in left field. Here comes the running catch made by Ramon Laureano, and we got a quick out number 2. This would be great if Jesse could have a quick inning. He's only thrown 4 pitches so far. And for those who are not used to seeing Jesse pitch, he pitches quick. Ever since the introduction of the pitch clock, he has sped up everything in his repertoire. His first pitch is right there, cutter for a strike. It's 0-1. I remember the first time I saw him in spring training, we were doing a game when they first came out with the pitch clock and everyone was getting ready for it. Is he 0-1 outside? 1-1. And you already felt the difference, people coming in and pitching much quicker. But he was grabbing the ball, literally just grabbing it and throwing it. He wasn't even waiting for a sign. The 1-1 down below, 2-1. I'll never forget that because I was like, is he going to be doing this regular season? Like, is this his thing now? And he does pause now, but I'm telling you, that first time he came out there, it was like he was playing catch. Like rapid catch. The 2-1. Swung on and lifted high. Deep into right field, but not deep enough. Soler will camp underneath it. He'll make the catch, and that's a quick 1, 2, 3. We'll head to the top of the 6th. The heart of the Braves order coming to the plate.
I'm only calling your phone 32 times, and that's it. Boy, I'm not about to chase you.
The 1906 Chicago Cubs, the 2001 Seattle Mariners, the 1998 New York Yankees are some of the greatest teams of all time. But what about the 1980 Denver Bears? That team won 92 games and finished 21.5 games ahead of the next closest team. They were an offensive juggernaut, averaging 6.36 runs per game. On top of that, they led the league in home runs, doubles, hits, and OPS. That's not all. They also were a menace on the base pass, finishing second in stolen bases with 143 and second in triples with 47. Man, they could fly. You may be asking yourself, what about their pitching? Their 3.87 ERA and 740 strikeouts were second in the league, and their 14 shutouts were tops in the league. They were hard to beat at home. At one point, they won 21 straight games at home. One of the stars of their team was a 20-year-old Tim Raines, who finished with a .354 batting average to go along with his 11 triples and 77 stolen bases. His teammates Tim Wallach and Randy Bass would also contribute, hitting a combined 73 home runs and driving in a combined 267 runs. 24 of the 29 players on that team would wind up playing in the major leagues. That group combined for 13 All-Star appearances, 3 Gold Gloves, and 3 Silver Sluggers. This team has got to go down as one of the best teams in minor league history.
Booby trap spelled backwards is party boob.
10 Japanese pitchers had already come to the United States, but no Japanese position player had ever appeared in the majors. Then, in 2000, the Japanese-owned Seattle Mariners decided to sign him anyway, hoping Ichiro would attract a large following among Asian Americans living in the Pacific Northwest.
What's up, Braves country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See y'all at the ballpark. Love you.
I don't know if y'all saw the numbers or not, but the Braves hit the 3 million mark again in the attendance at Truist Park. They released the number yesterday. I have to pull it up here in a second to double check the number. It was over 3 million. Marcell Ozuna will come to the plate. There it is, 3,011,755. So they just got there. First pitch on the way to Marcell, swung on and popped back foul. It's 0-1. And remember, yesterday was just counted as one attendance. It was a true doubleheader. It wasn't a split. So they weren't aided by that at all. The 1-2. And I can remember growing up in the 80s and 90s, or the 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. 80s and 90s growing up, and I can remember them making a big deal when the Dodgers like broke 1 million. And now you got teams like the Braves and Dodgers and everyone else cracking 3. The 0-2 pitch, up top, misses high. Tried to stretch the zone about letter high, but that one was even too high for Nestor Seja to call. The 1-2 to Marcel. Down around the knees, they call it a strike. I don't know. ESPN went to this goofy behind the plate camp that is just awful. They called it a strike, one away. Marcel doesn't like it. I have to see a replay of that. It looked like it was off the edge from the goofy umpire. Oh, yeah, my God. 3 inches below the knees. Easily. Easily 3 inches below the knees. First pitch on the way to Matt Olson is swung on and lifted high. Not deep enough. It'll die in the glove of Tatis just before the warning track. 1 pitch, 1 out for Olson, 2 away. Those are the type of at-bats there that you're going to hate as we go along here, because they had an opportunity to get King out of the game pretty early, and then these quick at-bats like that one there by Olson. And don't get me wrong, Seja expanding the strike zone has not helped, but you're going to get him into the 7th inning is what you're going to do. First pitch on the way is well inside. That one's called for a strike. It's 0-1. And Solaire's letting him hear it. The 0-1. Up high. 94 about eye high. I guess that one was a ball. 1-1. That's usually about the time I'd probably get kicked out of the game. I'd probably turn back and say, you sure that wasn't a strike? They'd be like, see ya. The 1-1 pitch. Swing. Fouls it back. 1-2. I would just be telling Seja, man, this guy doesn't need any help. He's out here dealing. You don't need to give him a 19-inch strike zone. The 1-2 from King. Swing and a miss. Chase that one well off the plate, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the 6th, trailing by only 3.
I'm going to say no one's better than me. but I just, him playing in his 7th Super Bowl.
The most prolific and pure passing quarterback that this generation has ever seen.
Dan Marino, and it's always been Dan Marino.
But Marino, if you look at the stats, dude, his first season, 48 touchdowns in that era.
Back in,
dude,
what,
best
70s?
best quarterback
80s?
season in history. I don't care what anyone says,
That's
dude.
crazy.
Like, every single time that I've been putting up and breaking these records, just like Dan Marino had 170 touchdowns in 3 years. I'm like, what? I thought they ran the ball back then.
It's hard to pick one, but I just think one of the guys I've seen play the best in that position that didn't get his due was Dan. I mean, you put Danny in here today with some of the size of these receivers and his ability to get the ball out of his hand and how accurate he was.
Not going to see quarterbacks like Dan Marino ever again.
Armchair.
Hey, does anybody else have to defrost when they first wake up before they start talking to people because they'd be mad as hell for no apparent reason for the first few minutes? Or is it just me?
In an era filled with home runs, Ichiro was a revelation, slapping the ball in every direction, beating out infield hits, flying around the bases.
Because this was in the midst of a bludgeon ball era in baseball, and here's this wiry little guy spraying base hits everywhere, beating out infield choppers, playing this sort of cerebral game. It was so different from the prevailing culture of the sport that I think it made it even more appealing.
Japanese newspapers and television stations dispatched hundreds of reporters to send back news of his every move to a nation eager for any information about their hero. Ichiro, his prime minister declared, makes me proud to be Japanese.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Jesse Chavez goes back to work. First pitch on the way is right there at the knees for a strike. Cutter on the outer edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Down and away, 1-1. If anybody tells you that they are against robo-umps, they're just not paying attention. Just night after night you see this is the 0-1 down and away, 1-1. What the robo-umps will do, I think a lot of people think it's going to be just some robot back there calling balls and strikes. They're going to have an indicator in their ear, and it's going to tell them if it was in the zone or not. The 2-1. Did he go around? He did, 2-2. And they'll have the ability to overturn it, but if they do, they're going to have to back that up. And that's the main key is for some accountability for these clowns like Sazier who are behind the plate. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and lifted high. Lazy fly ball into the glove of Harris out in center field. Takes a couple of steps and squeezes out number 1. One down, and Jerickson Profar will come to the plate. He's 0 for 2. The strikeout. First pitch on the way is right there on the outer cut for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Outside wide. 1-1. 1-1 count. Inside, 2-1. Chavez brings it. That one misses down below the knees and outside. That hasn't stopped Sazier from calling it a strike earlier in the game, but he gives him a ball there, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch inside, called for a strike, 3-2. So a full count now from Jesse. Jesse Chavez, 18 pitches in, his second inning of work. The payoff pitch. Swing! Hammers it foul down the third base line. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I was just catching highlights, and at the end I heard. So that Mets-Brewers game started off really high scoring, and then the bullpens took over. The payoff pitch, swung on, lifted, into center field, running in, making the running grab is Michael the Hawk Harris, 2 away. They said the last 18 outs of the Milwaukee Brewers were consecutive. I mean, they didn't have a single base runner the last 18 outs of the game. It was back and forth. It was 3-0, then 4-3 and 4-4, and all of a sudden the Mets jumped out to an 8-4 lead. His first pitch on the way to Machado's outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. And then the Mets, who had a depleted bullpen in their own right, 18 outs. Curveball is swung on and missed. Jesse Chavez evens up the count, 1-1. Machado 0 for 2, 797 OPS. The 1-1 lifted back foul. So something to update y'all on that whole bridge situation yesterday. I didn't find out till later. It was a jumper that was holding up the traffic. Just some knucklehead got up there, decided to get all the attention. One of the biggest bridges there is here in North Florida, and hauled up all the traffic. They shut down the bridge, had everyone go back around. The 1-2 swung on, sliced back foul. All I know is they were very lucky I didn't know that was going on. I'd have been like, Pooper, get off the pot, buddy. I don't really care what you do, but we got a game to do. The 1-2 count, kicks and fires. Outside wide, 2-2. I was under the impression it was a wreck or something. I could kind of see what was going on, but it was still, I don't know, 8-9 car lengths away. The 2-2 just misses outside, full count. So a full count. Pitch, swung on, just got a piece of it. Slaps it back foul. The payoff pitch. Jesse, did he go around? Looked like he did. He did, strike 3. Machado tried to work his way aboard. He gone. We'll be back in a flash. Top of the 7th we go. This is when we cook here in Braves country.
God gives the hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. When did I sign up for the war? When did I enlist?
Facebook just killed me. Dear Santa, I am writing this on the day after Xmas, and I am very sad. I only received one of the 2 presents I asked for. Since you ate my cookies, I will assume that my missing gift was a mistake. I will give you 1 week to fix this, Jeremy. Dear Jeremy, I am sorry you are disappointed with your presents. You asked for 2 very expensive presents, and Santa can only do so much. You need to learn to be grateful for what you have, not upset about what you don't. If you continue to complain, I will have no choice but to add you to the naughty list next year, Santa. Dear Fatty, your threats don't scare me. I played your game and you did not deliver. This is not okay. I will give you 1 week and then you will pay. Jeremy. P.S. I don't know why you care that it's expensive when you have elf slaves to make things for you. I think you are naughty for having slaves. Period, Jeremy.
Ichiro finished his first season, leading the American League in at-bats, hits, batting average, and stolen bases, won a Gold Glove Award, and was voted Rookie of the Year and MVP. It would be his first of 9 consecutive 200-hit seasons, breaking a record set by Wee Willie Keeler a century earlier in 1901. Other big league clubs were now eager to sign the next Ichiro.
That's a great thing about globalization, that people can take this thing that you played with and invented, and maybe to some degree spoiled with whatever's going on here, and it can go to an entirely different place and be recreated and regrown as if it's a hybrid flower of some kind, and come back and show you the game maybe in a different way, and maybe in a way it used to be that you hadn't thought of in a long time.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Braves trail 3-0, top of the 7th we go. And I'm glad some of y'all don't make big decisions in life. They should have pitched Max tonight. Well, on short rest, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. Let's go ahead and burn our best pitcher in a best-of-3 series in Game 1. First pitch on the way to Laureano is a swing and a miss strike over the top. It's 0-1. King just at 81 pitches. Braves have gotten some hits off him, so it's not like he can't be done. In the next crack, they'll go get the pen. The 0-1. Outside wide. Did he go around? They checked down the line, but as they do that, they put some goofy quote on the board. I mean, ESPN, what the hell are you doing, son? What are you doing? It's an 0-2 count. Caught looking, strike 3. 1 away. They're checking down the line. They put some goofy quote up by Michael King like he's prophetic. In the meantime, they're checking down the line, and they don't show the reaction by the umpire. So I guess Phil Cousy, and he's known to have a quick trigger over there on the check swings. He called a second strike on Laureano, and there you go. First pitch to Darnode. He's down and away for a ball. No, they called that a strike. Wow. 0-1. Shows it a strike on your screen, but it was off the plate. The 0-1, swing and a miss. 0-2. Anytime ESPN, you will notice anytime ESPN can bring anything back to a team in the Northeast, they're going to do it. So the quote they were throwing up there was King talking about his time with the Yankees, and now he's with the Padres. The 0-2, outside wide 1 and 2. Because they live in a world where they believe that everybody in America cares about 2, maybe 3 franchises. The 1-2 count. Darno trying to get aboard. Pitch. Good Lord. He swung at a sweeper. That ball was easily 10 inches off the plate. You have to figure that there's some fatigue involved here, too, with these guys. I mean, that pitch, that's an embarrassment, really. If you're Travis d'Arnaud, like, you don't even want to talk about that at bat. First pitch on the way to Urshela is outside wide. Changeup misses. 1-0. What I do expect to see tomorrow is I expect to see Max Fried to be playoff Max Fried like he was Friday night. And the Braves is the 1-0, swung on, lifted, high in the sky. Coming under it, making the catch is Merrill, and that'll end the inning. We'll head to the 7th inning stretch. Finish that thought when we come back. But this series is far from over, Braves country.
All right. I can't see you. Let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. We out to the ball game. We out to the night. Find me something to crack down. I don't care if I have to get back over through. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3, stretch around at the old ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. So the whole thing about this series, anybody with any common sense would know that this first game was going to be rough. We didn't have a starting pitcher, and they were plenty rested. But because it's a 3-game series, you're not going to go bananas and just throw everything at the wall and putting guys like Max Fried out there in short rest. You want Max Fried to go out tomorrow on regular rest, and game 2 of any 3-game series is the most important game. It always is. It doesn't matter if you have a 1-0 lead or you're down 0-1. Game 2 is enormous. Because if you can get out of that series up 1-0, hey, you move on, da-da-da-da-da. If you lose it, it starts getting real tight around there, right? If you're down 0-1, obviously it's huge because you don't want to get eliminated. But with all that being said, tomorrow it's Max Fried versus Musgrove, and Thursday it will be Ronaldo Lopez versus Dylan Cease. The Braves have every bit of a chance to outpitch both of those guys. And when it comes to playoff baseball, it really comes down to the pitching matchups, because pitching is always greater than batting, and I expect Max Fried to go out there and do Max Fried type things tomorrow. So if we can steal one tonight, that's great, but it really isn't the end of the world. And there's a reason why we're a huge underdog in this series. I mean, you go in here, you're wounded, you're missing the guy who just won the pitching Triple Crown, by the way, in Chris Sale, and they're giving hugs to King, so he's done, thankfully. So anyone's better than Michael King. So with all that being said, they're bringing Luke Jackson into the game, so buckle up, Braves country. First pitch on the way from Jackson is inside, nowhere near the zone, 95 miles an hour. It's 1-0. I don't know about this, but Luke Jackson's on the roster, so I guess you have to use him in this situation. The 1-0, 96 right there for a strike, 1-1. The 1-1 count, but not having Chris Sale and, of course, all the other guys that are missing. The 1-1 is blasted down the right field line, but foul. My word, was that smoked. With the game still being in hand, I'm a little surprised Luke Jackson's in the game. The curveball went down and in. He went after it. Strike 3, 1 away. One down, and maybe we can dance through the raindrops here and get Luke Jackson in a clean inning. Jason Adam is warming up in the Padres bullpen. He is their setup man, and he's been a good one. But I think anything's better than seeing King at this point because they just were not picking him up. Luke Jackson brings the curveball. It's chopped foul down the line. It's 0-1. Xander Bogaerts, the batter. He's 0 for 2. 688 OPS, 264 batting average, 11 home runs. The $300 million man, he is battled a lot of injuries this year. Slider, swing and a miss, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. The other thing that you'll have on deck for you tomorrow, just think of this because it's an elimination game for us and not them, is the 0-2 swung on, chopped over to third. Gio's got it, fires it across the diamond. 5-3 put out, 2 away. We're going to have the back end of our bullpen ready to roll. Any chance you have to get that win tomorrow, you get the win tomorrow and you'll figure it out on Thursday is going to be the theory. Now, if Max goes out there and shoves and we get some runs and he does like he did the other night and just put 0 after 0 up, hey, you may even be able to keep some of the guys off the mound tomorrow night. Curveball starts off the at-bat. Inside to Jake Cronenworth, it's 1-0. But if you fall behind, or not even just fall behind, if it gets sticky, they're not going to hesitate to go get someone. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and lifted high into center field, making the easy catches. Michael Harris II. That'll end the inning. Orlando Arcia leads us off, then the top of the order as we head to the 8th here in San Diego.
Do Irish people love being miserable all the time? Yeah, we do. It's good, clean fun. But yeah, I'll complain about your nephew who I never met and tell people what I think he should be doing with his life. I'll sit down on my chair over there for an hour and be absolutely outraged about the Germans, thinking they can steal drinking from the Irish. Positivity will only get you so far. I encourage you, sit down on front of the fire with a nice cup of tea and think about how your best friend doesn't deserve the car that he has because he does for nothing. It's good for you. We might be a bit cantankerous, but that's what allows us to go out and have a bit of crack in the evening.
As the 1959 World Series got set to open on the south side of Chicago, for the first time in 40 years, there was a feeling of joyful anticipation.
When you're in the minor leagues for 8.5 years and you come in and get in that World Series your first year, I really didn't even realize how fantastic a thing it was, seeing the police escorting all the banners up and crowds, just the glamour of it all.
The decade of the 50s had been a time of great stability on and off the field. The 60s would bring explosive change across the country, but baseball would continue to provide a welcome oasis of continuity. Just like the 50s, the role of the National League's premier team would fall to the Dodgers, who were only just beginning to win in Los Angeles. They would capture 3 pennants and 2 World Series in the 60s.
The Dodgers win 2-1 and sweep the series in 4 straight. Paul Bedlam breaks loose on the field.
The Braves' run as a powerhouse was at an end. They would take many years to reclaim World Series glory. The team would move to Atlanta in 1966 and would not win a championship until 1995.
The team of the 90s has its World Championship.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves trail this one 3-0, but we head to the 8th inning with Orlando Arcia and then the top of the order due up. Arcia will now face Adam. By the way, Michael King, first pitch on the way, 82 up top for a strike. It's 0-1. Michael King, 7 innings, 12 strikeouts, 5 hits, no walks. And now, granted, he had a strike zone the size of Texas, but he was still throwing some good stuff tonight. The 0-1, outside wide, 1-1. The 1-1 count. Kicks and fires. Swing. Fouls it back. Four-seam fastball up top. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. Same 2 teams, same time, same bat channel. 8:38 first pitch. And if there is a game 3, it's a touch earlier. 7:08. The 1-2. Outside wide 2-2. Jason Adam, 33-year-old. And if you follow Major League Baseball for a while, he was an elite reliever for the Tampa Bay Rays for a few years before coming over from the Cubs. The 2-2, swing and a miss, change up and away, 1 down. He's been a big reason why the Padres have played really good baseball here in the back end of the season. He started his career with Kansas City and Toronto, and really was nothing special until he got to Tampa Bay. And I know that shocks nobody. He was traded from the Rays earlier this year. First pitch on the way to Michael Harris II. It's a 4-seam fastball right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Rips and kicks. Swing, 96. About letter high, just a touch above. Chase that one. It's 0-2. Jason Adam from Omaha, Nebraska, is 33 years old. Was drafted by the Royals way back in 2010. The 0-2. San Diego fans had their yellow hankies a-waving. The pitch to Michael. Swing and a miss. Chase that changeup down and away. That's a nasty change. It's really more like a splitter. 2 down. That is a nasty. He definitely holds it like a changeup, but it's got splitter type motion. First pitch on the way to Ozzie is a swing and a miss, 96 up around his chin. It's 0-1. None of these guys that are seeing Adam right now have seen him before, so that's one of the problems. When you get these relievers you haven't seen, learning on the fly. The 0-1. Swung on, lifted into right field. That'll get down for a base hit. I don't remember the last time I played this, so I'm playing it. We got one on, 2 outs. And Marcell Ozuna coming to the plate. That'll bring the tying run on deck. And the version of Matt Olson as they go and have a quick chat out there at the mound. So the Braves have the tying run coming to home plate, coming to the on-deck circle. Marcell Ozuna could make this a 1-run game with just one swing.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
So they finished the little powwow out there on the mound. Righty-righty matchup. Ozzie at first. Adam looking over his shoulder. First pitch. Swing and a miss slider, 83 miles an hour. It's 0-1. The 0-1 kicks and fires. Runner goes. Whoa, way high throw. Ozzie Albies goes in there with ease and steals second base. That throw by Higgy, man, that wasn't even in the same zip code. You got a pretty good jump. By the way, Marcell Ozuna versus Jason Adams is a swing and a miss at the sweeper. It's 0-2. He is 0 for 4 lifetime against Adam with 3 strikeouts. He's trying to change the narrative here. Adam a strike away from getting out of the jam. A single would cut this to a 2-run lead, make the 9th inning a lot more manageable. The 1-2. Adam looks back at Ozzie. Here comes the pitch. Swing, pops it back foul. Out of play. Do it again. A lot of things going on here. You feel like he's going to try to set him up with that high heat to pull the string on that changeup down and away like he did the last strikeout. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. That's what he did. And that'll end the inning. Nasty bender. Marcell Ozuna. He did his best, but that pitch is disgusting. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
What can I get started for you?
Ruby, what do you want? Hamburger? French fries? Fart. Ruby!
Dear Jeremy, you are being a very bad little boy because you cannot be happy with what you have. I have talked to your parents and told them to take away your Wii U. Wow. Now you have nothing. Once you learn to be grateful, perhaps you can have it back. I am very disappointed in you, Jeremy. You will need to be an extra good boy this year if you want to make it back on the nice list. Dear Santa, I do not like that stunt you pulled. You are on my naughty list. Now be afraid. Enjoy your cookies next year. Jeremy was not playing.
I have still
two gloves that I've carded across all the years, and I have them for a purpose. One selfish, one familial. The selfish reason is I love them. I love them because they remind me of what I was when I was a kid, and they allow me to still be a kid when I hold the gloves. I can still see my parents, I can still see the apartment we lived in, all of those things. The familial reason is that my kids, like a lot of kids today, have an excess of things, material things. But my boys who played baseball, when they were 12, 13, or 14, they would occasionally come to me and say, Dad, I can't find my stuff. I can't find my catcher's equipment. Do you know where my bats went? And I'd go get one of the gloves and I'd say, hold it up, and I'd say, I've had this since 1954. I know where this is. Go find your stuff and don't lose it.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves trail 3-0. We head to the bottom of the 8th. This was just a very difficult task. And look, the fact that we're within 3 runs, like John said in the chat, is kind of amazing. First pitch on the way. They're going to send Luke Jackson back out there. Might as well if you're going to have to burn an arm. That's not someone you're going to put in a high leverage situation. It's Bender at the knees to Solano. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Inside, 1-1. I don't know if Luke will go all 3 batters here. They may just have him go the 8-9 batter and then go get someone for the top of the order. But we'll just have to see how this plays out. The 1-1 swung on, chopped foul, 1-2. Maybe Luke is just one of those relievers that has to be in the playoffs to be money. Remember in 2021, like he was lights out along with the rest of the pen. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Ball gets away. Travis has to jump on it. Throws a long throw to first. Good throw. High throw, but Olsen's got it. 1 down. For that matter, the bullpen's been perfect so far tonight. All 3 runs were scored in the first 2 innings. An inning and a third by Smith-Shawver. The only run scored. And he was put in there last minute. You know he wasn't prepared. They were just hoping to get a few innings out of him. First pitch on the way is a chain. I guess that slider missed. It's 1-0. If they would have been on regular rest, Shawver would have never been in there. You may have gotten a bullpen game as the 1-0 swung on and sizzled back to the wall. 1-1. You might have gotten a bullpen game, and you may have gotten someone like Jesse Chavez starting the game or whatnot. The 1-1 right there, nice curveball at the knees for a strike. 1-2. But they were hoping, I guarantee if you would have told Snicker and company that they were going to get, is the 1-2, swing, lifts it, high into left field. Is that going to hold? Going back on the track, climbing the wall is Laureano, but that ball has left the building. It's 4-0 San Diego. So the first run given up by the bullpen from Luke Jackson, and I know that's not a shocker, 102 miles an hour off the bat, a launch angle of 35 degrees, 387, just snuck over the wall. Kind of impressed with that climb that Laureano just made. He looked like Spider-Man going up that wall. I thought he was actually going to have a chance at it the way he went up. You don't normally see guys climb up the wall like that unless they have a real chance. It went back several rows, but he climbed well to the top of that wall. First pitch on the way is a curve at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. But if you told them you were going to get, what are we at? 4, 5, 6 innings plus, 6 innings plus of now 1 run, but at the time no earned runs from Aaron Bummer, Jesse Chavez, and Luke Jackson, you'd sign up for that every day of the week. The 1-1 slapped over towards short. Soft line drive into the mitt of Arcia, 2 away. But the one advantage to this is we haven't burned any of our guys. So any of our back end bullpens. Man, Laureano, I mean, he got to the top of that damn wall. That is wild. First pitch on the way to Tatis is a swing and a miss strike. He's trying to hit to Jackson one night. It's 0-1. He might want to be careful because if he stares down Luke Jackson, Luke seems like the type that's going to pile drive you. The 0-1 swung on, roasted over to third, but right at Gio. He'll flip it to first. And that'll end the inning. They put one on the board, but we stay within a grand slam, y'all. We'll be back in a flash and try to work some magic here in the ninth.
Oh, God. Just keep your mouth shut. You just making it worse.
I'm just feeling really down these days, and I don't know why. Have you exercised today? No. Did you go outside? No. Did you talk to anyone? No. Did you eat well? No. Did you limit your scrolling time? No. Did you make any plans? No. Did you drink enough water? No. Did you get enough sleep? No. Wait, yes. Yes to that one. Yeah, no, it's, what a mystery.
Over the next few days, the nation slowly began to regroup. Thousands made their way to New York to help search the rubble for survivors. Only a handful were found. They're still trying to find people, Derek Jeter, a resident of Manhattan, said. I really don't think it's the right time to play baseball. On Friday, September 14th, Commissioner Bud Selig announced that baseball would begin again the following Monday.
Following Monday, when they opened Wall Street, the streets were ringed with men with machine guns. There was still smoke pouring out of the pyre of the World Trade Center. A cop recognizes me. He says, "How are you?" I said, I'm all right. I'm all right. "How are you?" He says, "I'm worried." I said, "Yeah, I'm worried too." He said, "I'm worried about the Mets." And I sort of snapped out of it. I said, "You're worried about the Mets?" He said, "Yeah, well, I mean, the season resumes tonight, and I'm really worried. You're in Pittsburgh. I mean, do you think they've got enough to get back in the pennant race? I mean, they were doing so well, and can they catch the Braves?" I said, "How on earth could that possibly matter? We're standing, I mean, the smoke coming up from behind us." And what? He says, "Well," he says, "it doesn't matter. Of course it doesn't matter. I got 300 friends dead. It doesn't matter." He says, "But tonight, 7 o'clock, and all day the rest of today, I can look forward to 7 o'clock where I can put my feet up and pretend it does matter."
Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com/@BravesCountry. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. I guess there's a question about, so it's on your screen every night on the 7th inning, but the Braves have won 16 World Championships, 4 in the World Series era. They have won 22 pennants and 23 divisions. And they're the longest continuous baseball franchise in Major League Baseball. So they are what you would consider baseball royalty. Robert Suarez will come on. The Braves, before they were called the Braves, they were called the Boston Red Stockings in the very beginning, and then changed their names several times. First pitch on the way to Matt Olson is swung on, swatted back in towards left field, making a running catch, crashing into the wall is Jerickson Profar, 1 away. F7 in your scorecard, but Matt Olson put a charge into that one. That was just a few feet away from getting on the board. Yeah, long before they were the Bean Eaters, they were the Boston Red Stockings, Tara. First pitch on the way to Soler is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. It's a common mistake that people think that the Bean Eaters was the first name, but the Red Stockings were the very first name of the Boston or the Atlanta Braves organization. The 0-1 swung on, foul back out of play. It's 0-2. They were the Red Stockings. They were the Bean Eaters, the Rustlers, the Doves. The Bees, spelled B-E-E-S. The 0-2. Swing! That ball's rifled into right field. That ball's down for a base hit. 100 miles an hour. Sinker. Smoked into right field. Yeah, all that information is incorrect on your screen, but if you're listening, you know what we're probably going to have to do it once upon a pastime when the season ends about it, because there's a lot of misconceptions about the history of the organization. First pitch on the way is a sinker down below your knees. 1-0. Ramon Laureano 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and he climbed the wall. The 1-0. Eli White on to run for Soler, by the way. 1-0 count. Swing. Chops it over to short, excuse me. It's going to be a 6. 4-3. Tried to get the double play, but Laureano beat it out. 2 down. So 2 down. Travis d'Arnaud. See, most Braves fans probably think Greg Maddux is the greatest pitcher in Braves history, but he's not. First pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud is up high and misses. It's 1-0. If you go by wins above replacement, which most analytic historians do, Kid Nichols is the greatest to ever put on a uniform of this franchise. The 1-0. Swung on, chops it over to third, deep in the hole. He'll have plenty of time, though, with Travis running. And that'll end the game. The Braves lose a tough one. Tough opening game, but they had 0 sleep. Just played a doubleheader. And this is why it's typically not done this way, why you don't start the postseason right after, especially a doubleheader. It's never been done in the history of baseball, and the Braves had to cross against 2 time zones as well. And you didn't have a starting pitcher. So all in all, the offense got dominated by a very good outing by King, but there's nothing to tell you that this may have had a lot more to do with jet lag as opposed to the opponent. But we won't take anything away from the Padres. Good win, good pitching effort by Michael King. Tomorrow night's the night. Max Fried night, and it'll time to get it even and force a critical Game 3. And if we force a Game 3, all the pressure's on San Diego. Remember, we're playing with house money. We're not supposed to be here. We'll see you tomorrow night, Braves country. Have a good night's sleep, and we kind of, I think if you know the game, you kind of expected this was going to happen. Y'all have a good one.